York Times Sports, baby. We got a huge show coming up for you. Sam Saltz became the first Division I Jewish football player this week. Big old mazel shkoyach, kiddush out to Sam Saltz. Robert Kraft has been denied entry into the Hall of Fame, an act of anti-Semitism that I will not stand as, but as a Jet fan, I am very happy about that. Also, Jake Retzlaff, the BYU quarterback, had his first loss of the season, and Jason Kelce is getting a late-night comedy show. All of those stories and more on today's New York Times Sports. Hit the music. This is such a specific. Next week, we're going to figure out the technology so I can play it off of this directly. But for this week, we're just playing the klezmer Jewish. The video is klezmer Jewish dance. The Judas Shatans.
The Judas Shatans?
The Judas Shatans.
Oh my God. When do you play this?
At weddings, funerals,
okay.
bar mitzvahs, Jewish christenings, which we have those.
Have you started doing bar mitzvahs yet?
Have I started doing? That's the only thing I'm doing, baby. How do you think I pay for the podcast? No, sponsorship, obviously. Anyways, as always, I'm joined by my goyishe roommate, Richard Hunter Cunningham Templeton III, a name so not Jewish that it is actually, its dad is bacon and its mom is saying Merry Christmas. How are you doing, Rich?
I am good. It's a Friday. It's a good day.
Do you have any questions for the Jews this week?
For the Jews? Well, potential clarification. I believe Sam Saltz is not only Jewish, but Orthodox, right?
When did you become the rabbi of this thing? Rich spends enough time living here that all of a sudden he's like a Jewish pride person. You know how your parents, whenever you're watching a movie, are like, by the way, the guy that is playing the butler, he's actually Jewish. Rich has become that. Who's your favorite Jewish sports athlete?
I guess at the moment the BYU.
Yeah, the BYU. Yeah. We asked you that last week. You have any general questions for the Jews? We're kind of out of the Jewish holiday season. We're kind of heading into.
When does Hanukkah start?
Hanukkah starts it's Christmas this year. I think it starts on like the 24th or 25th.
Oh my God!
I know.
Do your parents like remotely acknowledge Christmas? Like any presents?
Yeah,
as
they
kids?
acknowledge it as a hate crime. They're like, oh, it's that time of year again. I'm sure the Jews got chased and beaten during the Christmas. I'm sure there's like a Christmas massacre. There's always, anytime there is a non-Jewish holiday, there's always something where like your parents will be like, oh, you want to go celebrate Flag Day? Well, have you heard about the Flag Day massacre of Vishnitz in 1938? Huh? You want to go out there? Huh? You want to go do Halloween? The pagans murdered Jews across Spain on Halloween, Eitan. Go for it. Enjoy. And get married. You're 10. Yeah, you know what? I will say this because there's no way that my cousins are listening to this. Yeah, I will say this.
Go for it.
You know, my mom is a little bit of a poop talker, just is what it is. You know, that happens to be what it is. Yeah. So my cousin is getting married this week, and I unfortunately cannot be there. They don't listen to this podcast, though, or anything that I do. Anyway, so she was telling me about the girl that my cousin is marrying, and she was like, joking, she was like, I don't know it's going to last. She's a neurosurgeon. She, is doing residency. She's all over the country. I don't know if it's going to last. She seems too good for him. As a joke. Let me just say as a joke. And then she goes, Eitan, she's into pickleball. She's very funny. She is a neurosurgeon. She has a great job. And then I'm like, Mommy, are you trying to set me up with Jonathan's fiance? And she's like, listen, if it doesn't happen over there with it. Anyways, Jonathan's fiance, hit me up, baby.
Hey.
Let's get this going. And with that, let's go into the Jewish sports news of the week. Coming up, number first, congratulations. A big mazel's kiddush shkoyach minion out there to Sam Saltz, the 5'6", 160-pound wide receiver from Texas A&M, is Jewish, and he's believed to be the only Orthodox athlete on a D1 team. And in taking the field Saturday, he after Shabbos, by the way, he waited until after Shabbos to take the field. He actually became what is likely the first Orthodox Jew to appear in a D1 football game, which is absolutely incredible out there. And the Aggies. Do you know? And funny thing, when I said this to my mom, I told the story to my mom. My mom literally went, "Augie, cousin Augie." Blindschuh's. Wait, that's Blindschuh's uncle, cousin Augie, out there. So that's a huge thing. Jews. Not a lot of Jewish D1 athletes out there, specifically not a lot of football athletes. And it's interesting that within this year, there have been two massive Jewish sports stories with Jake Retzlaff and Sam Saltz in Division I football. So maybe Division I football is becoming a little bit of a Jewish hang. Rich?
You saw this, right?
What is this? Oh, yeah, that's the thing about Sam. Yeah. Sam wears his tzitzis, in the games and everything like that. He's like Orthodox. Jake is conservative, which nothing. Not knocking. I would never knock.
Never knock.
I would never yuck a yum. And if your yum is conservative Reform Judaism, guess what? Lick it up, baby. Yum, yum, yum. Sam, though, is Orthodox, which puts in a whole other list of complications. For instance, most of the games are on Saturday because of Shabbos. He can't walk. He has to walk there. He can't drive there, can't use electricity. I'm sure that eating on the road is a little bit of a nightmare. I'm sure, if you go... He's in Texas A&M, so they play a bunch of goyim, every place that they go to.
Is he allowed to review game tape on the day? Like, is he allowed to use an iPad?
He's not allowed to use an iPad. That's the thing. He can watch. I guess he can watch the sport, but he can't touch the buttons and stuff like that.
What about passively coming across the Jumbotron?
If he intentionally looked at the Jumbotron, then that I think would be technically, against Shabbos. But if he was looking in the area and it happened to be the Jumbotron was there, the thing about Sam is that because he's an Orthodox Jew, in order to turn on the Jumbotron, he has to have a goy come and turn on the Jumbotron for him.
Do they have a Shabbos elevator at Augie's Stadium? Because also like Texas A&M.
Yeah,
that's goyish. Interesting, man.
That's got to be, aside from like LSU and BYU.
Yeah,
Texas A&M is.
That's right.
Yeah. Texas University is way more Jewish than Texas A&M.
Yeah.
That's so funny about the Aggie Stadium. I got to interview this kid. I'm kind of curious about that stuff.
You got to look into it.
He's got to get kosher food. That's for sure a thing. Where's Texas A&M located? Is that
College Station?
That is in College Station, where's College Station near? Does anyone know where that is near? Let's see. According to
it is.
Well, anyways, so big Basel's out there.
Only Yahweh will know. It is. It's outside Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Houston.
Houston.
I actually may be heading out to Houston in a couple of months. So maybe I'll stop by A&M.
Hey.
Get myself a long dog. Next up, Robert Kraft has supposedly been denied again to become part of the NFL Hall of Fame or the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The story coming out of ESPN. Robert Kraft, the 6-time Super Bowl winning New England Patriot owner, considered a favorite for the 2025 class of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, has been passed over again. According to sources close to ESPN, this year marks the 13th year that Kraft was considered by a Hall committee, but failed to advance out of committee. 80% of the voters must approve the nominated finalists for induction into the Hall in Canton, Ohio. And let me just say, this is anti-Semitism, baby. Woo, woo, ring the bell.
So is this related to Deflategate or Tuggate?
I think that this is one because of anti-Semitic. No, I think that this actually, in my mind, are they punishing him for that documentary that he released this year? Remember, he released that documentary about the Patriots dynasty that came out, and it was largely kind of critical or didn't give the flowers that Bill Belichick deserved. It was more about Robert Kraft assembling a team with Tom Brady, kind of cut him out of it. I don't know if that's the reason why. Listen, he's an owner. Owners in automatically is a little bit, you got to be an exceptional owner. That being said, in football, it really is Jerry Jones, Robert Kraft. That's the 1-2 of people that control football. And on top of that, at the end of the day, he did oversee and own a team during one of the best sports runs in all of history. And I say that as a Jet fan. And let me just say, by the way, every Sunday is Kristallnacht. If you are a Jet fan, MetLife is just covered in shattered glass at this point. I would kill to have a Robert Kraft over Woody Johnson. absolutely insane. That is, it's no comparison at all. And on top of that, I just got to point out that Robert Kraft, obviously anti-Semitism didn't play a big part of this, right? Roger Goodell. But anti-Semitism didn't play a big part of this. Robert Kraft, though, has been an absolutely incredible friend to the Jews. He's done so many amazing anti-Semitism initiatives. The blue squares that you see all over the place with celebrities and politicians and myself wearing them are definitely out there. So Robert Kraft, friend of the Jews, denied a Hall of Fame. But yeah, you're a Bengal fan, so you're also dealing with like some service this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Kraft, I am curious, like, what is it? I mean, obviously beyond rampant anti-Semitism, but like, is it Deflategate? Is it Tuggate? And you know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Tuggate.
What are you talking about, Tuggate?
When he was,
Oh, it's so funny when he got that rub and tug. A couple years ago, it was a $30 rub and tug. We're all adults here. We know what it means.
Yeah.
It's a Jew. We're not going to handhold you. Okay, this is the Jewish sports podcast, not kindergarten. A couple years ago, first of all, let me just say no. It was definitely not because of Tuggate. A lot of the owners have done way worse things. And granted, like Dan Snyder isn't getting into the Hall of Fame anytime soon. A couple years ago, Robert Kraft got caught getting a $30 tuggaroo. From me and mine to you and yours.
I thought he gave at least like $100 tip. Maybe it was.
No, it was 30. It was 30? It was a $30 rub and tug. That was like the funny thing about it.
Did he give 10%?
So what's that? 30?
33? 33?
A tip?
Okay, tip.
I don't know if I think they take the tip.
They take the
when
tip.
You're a kid.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, I know. I remember when Robert Kraft, when that stuff happened, like the common thing that like old Jewish men would talk about with, I remember just this line over and over was like, what? His wife was dead. The guy can't get a rub and tug. It was just so over. That was what you heard in shul over and over and over for a while. I don't think so. I think that it's just hard to elect an owner to the Hall of Fame.
What owners are in the Hall of Fame actually?
Let's look. Reportedly tonight. Let's see. Look up owners in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It was a huge surprise, according to one source, that he didn't get in, and very disappointing unless you are an NFL historian. You don't know who Ralph Hay is.
Okay, so these are the last 5 owners enshrined in Canton. Pat Bolin from the Denver Broncos 2019, Jerry Jones, Dallas Cowboys 2017, Eddie DeBertolo, San Francisco 49ers 2016, Ralph Wilson, Buffalo Bills 2009, Dan Rooney, Pittsburgh Steelers 2000.
Okay. It was reported earlier that had been previously arguing for his enshrinement for a decade, lobbying voters, overseeing both a book and docuseries about the Patriots dynasty that painted him in a very favorable light. Of course, it's not like Kraft's tenure with the NFL is spotless between the Patriots cheating scandals and his own incident in the massage parlor in Florida. You can only hope voters who matter see it different that way. I'm sorry, I got to point out something.
Yeah.
A rub and tug and Deflategate are nothing compared to what other people in the NFL Hall of Fame have done. If you go down the line, everyone who has ever been in the NFL Hall of Fame, I'm willing to bet 80% of the people who are there have done things that are way worse. And once again, I am a Jet fan. I do not like Robert Kraft. I actually think it's pretty fucked up that he made a yearly tradition of every year going to MetLife Stadium or Giant Stadium and committing an absolute hate crime on the Jewish Jet fans. Every freaking year, he would just shove it in our face. So I do think that Robert Kraft was going to get in eventually, but it may take a little time. Moving on, next story, Jake Retzlaff, first loss of the season, unfortunately. Ooh. Brigham Young University, the big story, of course, is that they have a Jewish quarterback. It's the first time that there has been a Jewish quarterback for that school in school's history. He went on an incredible run this year. They got to 9-0. They were unfortunately 9-1 after losing 17-13 to Kansas last week. They got the rock chalk beat the crap out of them. They were number 7 in the ranking before in the national rankings before they had lost. Now they are 14th, which still gives them a playoff spot, but I do think that they likely have to win out. As far as the Big 12 goes, they are still number 1 in the Big 12. Colorado is number 2. This, of course, sets up a potential for some sort of bowl game with Dion and Jake Retzlaff. That is absolutely going to be must-watch TV. especially considering that Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter are likely going in the first round. Jake, I wonder if Jake's going to go anywhere. I wouldn't mind putting Jake on the Jets and just seeing what he can do. I don't trust the New York Jets to throw the football anymore. I want him. Jake Retzlaff has a good sidearm and is really good at handing the ball off, I think. I want him to do that stuff, with the Jets. So, Mazel's to this weekend. Jake has a game at Arizona State. Arizona State is unranked, so hopefully they can go back to their winning ways as they gear up to playoff and bowl season. And then after that, their last game is going to be at. Sorry, let me just get this going. Last game is going to be at Houston on November 30th. So check out. Sorry, he's going to be at BYU against Houston on November 30th. So Jake. Come on, the Oilum is counting on you. We need you to keep on winning out. Okay, next up, we have an interesting story. I consider this Jewish for one reason only.
Yeah.
Late night comedy. Late night comedy.
Wow.
Who's your favorite late night comedian of all time?
Of all time, Letterman.
Letterman. Oh God, the great Conan. It's my
Conan. Yeah. I don't know, somewhere between Conan and Letterman.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. My favorite late night host of all time, Jason Kelce.
God.
That is right. They call it Late Night with Jason Kelce. Will air on 5 consecutive overnights heading into the late season NFL football weekend. That is right. Jason Kelce is getting his own late night show. The series will run at 1 a.m. on Saturdays, which I think competes with that Fox News. Don't they have like a Saturday Night Live, but it's like Fox News and it's only talking?
Oh God,
or something.
It's like, is it a spinoff of Gutfeld?
I think it's like from the Gutfeld universe here. the
Gutfeld
Gooniverse.
CU.
It's part of the Gooniverse. Maybe you've heard of it. Oh God. The series will run at 1 a.m. With the final broadcast launching at 1:30 a.m. The 1-hour show will originate from Philadelphia, and he will hold he will hold the 4th episode in front of a live crowd at the city's Union Transfer. Each show will be taped on Friday evening, just hours before the program goes to air. Richard Hunter Cunningham Templeton III.
Yes.
What is your, you think this is good? You think this is bad? You think Jason Kelce has the chops to host late night?
I mean, so to be fair, he has been podcasting with his brother for a while.
And of the two of them, he is the more interesting one of the two.
He's more charismatic. Yeah. He's more knowledgeable. He's more like self-deprecating.
Yeah.
So
Travis is not funny.
No.
Let me just say that across the board. Travis Kelce has no personality whatsoever. No. I also think that it is very telling that I feel like his personality was younger brother for a very, very, very long time until he started dating Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
A goy, by the way.
A goy, yeah.
Can you believe it? He would date a goy?
Oibi. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's part of it. I mean, the other part is like, okay, so here's a question for you. Who's the most like competent football, like former football player, commentator who really tried to make a turn for something? I mean, immediately for me, it comes like Michael Strahan.
I literally was about to say that I can see Jason Kelce's career becoming a Strahan kind of thing. Yeah. He's shorter and he's fatter.
That's true.
Which does go against him. That's just like a fact.
Does he have a gap?
He does not have a gap.
I'll see.
But I see Michael Strahan originally always felt like a weird choice for this stuff, and now it's like the default that he goes there. Yeah. He's very good on camera. He does not have any noticeable signs of CTE. Michael Strahan. Jason Kelce also very good on camera. Something about him being like short and stocky. I don't know if he leaves the sports universe. I see him kind of sticking along in. I just climb with the ranks Thursday Night Football and getting the Monday Night Football games. Continue to do the personality stuff. There was the Manning cast is one of the least interesting listens of all time, especially when they do like the co-broadcast. I can see Jason Kelce kind of like doing that like LeBron cast kind of thing. I know LeBron James on Thursday Night Football had his like group of people giving commentary. I can see Jason Kelce leading a Bert Kreischer, Theo Vaughn kind of dealy where it's him surrounded by comics, and that's like how he and then doing broadcasts like that.
Did Jason vote for Trump?
I think Travis did.
Even though he's Pfizer boy?
Actually, here's what I will say. I think that Travis really, really wanted to, but he got into the booth and he was like, I can't let Taylor down.
Yeah.
Taylor's gonna be pissed. And I do think that Travis Kelce thinks that Taylor Swift could find out
Completely.
who he voted for.
Yeah.
Are those records public? Is who I vote for public?
I don't think who you vote for public, but I believe that you voted is
I did.
public information.
Shout out to Springfield, New Jersey. Shout out. Yeah, I think that Jason Kelce voted Dem. I'm gonna go hard. He seems like a very authentic Dem. He's also
An authentic Dem.
an authentic Dem, an authentic day Dem. Also, I do think that there's a big difference between Kylie Kelce and Taylor Swift. And I think that Kylie Kelce would legitimately get pissed at him. Like, that seems like more of a...
Yeah.
I don't know. What is interesting about Kylie Kelce to me is that Kylie Kelce is the only person who I think Taylor Swift has never impressed.
Oh.
I think that they only interact when, like, Kylie Kelce has, like, a kid wrapped around her leg, and then one other one's like, I want juice, and then whatever. And then Taylor Swift is there, and she's just like... Yes, Taylor. Hi. Yeah. No. I'm sorry. I got to go deal with the kid and stuff like that. And I know it guts Taylor that she doesn't have, she doesn't have whatever.
She doesn't have children?
No, that she doesn't have the respect of Kylie Kelce.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next up, we got two more stories that I want to throw your way. Linda McMahon.
Wow.
We have to talk about this.
Oh, my God.
Not really a Jewish story, but definitely something interesting from the sports universe this week. Linda McMahon has been announced as President Trump's choice for education secretary. This also kind of comes out during a time where it was announced that Linda McMahon was involved in a recent lawsuit of failing to stop a ringside announcer from grooming and sexually abusing children from the 1980s and 1990s. Apparently, Mr. McMahon and her husband... Miss McMahon and her husband Vince McMahon ran the wrestling empire, and Miss McMahon worked as his president and chief executive officer until 2009. McMahon is a longtime ally of Trump, who served as the transition co-chair and former head of the U.S. Small Business Administration. Though she's primarily known for founding and leading the WWE, she has had several stints in education, starting with her nomination to the Connecticut State Board of Education. Now, let me just say, on this thing.
I'm sorry.
We got, the Linda McMahon getting slammed by... Who she get slammed by in that?
Kane.
Linda McMahon. If you are at home right now, look up Linda McMahon getting slammed by Kane. It is one of the funniest clips, and I do like how now politics, wrestling, and the UFC... That's one entity, baby.
Yeah, and just to put on the record, Kane is the mayor of Knox County.
That was essentially an early finance reform meeting. That video of her getting slammed was a FISA release. But first of all, this UFC thing where Donald Trump was at UFC in MSG this weekend with every freaking celebrity of all time, Linda McMahon, with WWE ties and stuff. My question to you is, since the election, I've gotten, I think like a lot of people, no matter what side of the aisle you fall on, a little bit numb. Definitely a little bit like, well, I don't really care anymore. Like the Democrats, they screwed up beyond belief, and the Trump Republicans aren't like super motivated. I think everyone's like kind of like numb for everything now. Mm-hmm. That numbness has let me do things like enjoy the moment. Oh. And when I saw this Linda McMahon announcement, it's pure joy. Now, do I agree with it on any level basis? Sure. Yeah, why not? Why? Yeah, I guess it doesn't make sense that the WWE lady's in charge of education. Does it make sense? Does it make sense that the lady who oversaw, Stone Cold Steve Austin and other educational luminaries like the Uzo brothers and Rikishi, does it make sense that she is now the education secretary? You know what? Yeah. Fuck yeah, it does. Because our system is based on a hierarchy of who can be loudest and who can be more flashy and entertaining. And if that's what we got to teach our kids, then good. Let them teach our kids that, okay? Have fucking Ringling Brothers take over kindergartens. I think that the Blue Men Group should have their own series of... I know they already have a Montessori. There are people in Brooklyn that send their kids to the Blue Men Group Montessori, and they're like, why does my kid not read? I don't know. Maybe because you send your kid to the Blue Men Montessori group.
Sorry,
oh, we have to...
Oh, my God.
I feel like I should show this to... Kane just pulls. Kane pulls Linda McMahon. Just pulls her.
Secretary of Education.
Oh
my God.
Oh.
It's wild. I think he tombstones her. Oh, maybe
there we go. There it is.
Let's see. We gotta check it out. Oh my God.
God, they gotta play this in.
Oh my God.
This is good. This is gonna play during her center confirmation.
It better. I swear to God, it better.
Oh, she's.
Oh my God.
She's picking up her head. This is how I want. By the way, this is how you get people invested in politics again. It should be this. They should be yelling. They should be debating with each other.
Yeah, I mean, just let it.
Yeah.
Look, you got to get these feelings
there
out.
There it is.
Oh my God.
And here we go.
Nice.
And school vouchers for education. There it is. That lady is going to get yeshiva education paid for. That is what is going to happen there. Matt Gaetz also, I mean, this is not really has to do anything with anything, but Matt Gaetz dropping out because of everything.
Oh my God.
Absolutely. I enjoyed that one also for like a minute. It was such a crazy pick that I was like, yeah, fucking why not? Like,
do you describe it as Schadenfreude or something? Or it's like something different?
Yes, it is Schadenfreude, but it's also Schadenfreude in a way that I know will affect me.
So it's masochistic in a way,
but like it will only affect me so much.
Yeah.
Listen, the Democrats, they democrated. They didn't win anything.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be hard pressed to get me to, care about stuff like that. Anyways, all right, moving right along. We have two more stories that I want to throw your way. First of all, as a Jet fan, I just got to talk about this. Joe Douglas, he got fired. Aaron Rodgers is still there. I will say this. I'll say this again. We got to get a Jew as a GM for the Jets, someone to yell at Woody Johnson and everything. Woody Johnson, he's a non-Jew that works in medicine, okay? That should have been your first red flag, other than it wasn't going to work out. But yeah, the Jets fucking suck, and there's no end in sight, and there's that. Also, another non-Jew thing that happened, exception of Alex Bregman, no Jews were honored in the MLB awards this year at all. Ohtani got the NL MVP.
Ohtani's not Jewish?
Actually, he should have married a Jew. Yeah, I can say that. I'm Jewish.
Yeah, you can say that.
And I've dated a Japanese person before. Our groups of people, we marry each other. It's not a secret at all. The Jews and the Asians, they love each other. Can I actually tell you one of the funniest things I have ever heard? Last night I performed at an event for Jewish police officers. Shout out, by the way, to the Jewish police officers out there doing the best. The boys, the Jews in blue.
The Jews in blue.
That's what I call them.
Blues and Jew.
The chosen. What would it be? I don't know. Anyways, the proud. I don't know. Here's what I'm saying though. Okay. There's a story that happened where apparently to become like a lieutenant or like a chief or something like that, there was a height requirement. There used to be a height requirement. Yeah. So you had a bunch of like very short Jews who wanted to rise the ranks and weren't able to rise the ranks because of the height requirement. For years and years and years, they were fighting it. They're like, hey, we got to get this height requirement fixed. We got to get this, whatever. Eventually, the thing that turned the tide was that the Jewish Police Officers Union, they teamed up with the Asian Police Officers Union and the Latino Police Officers Union to get this height requirement taken down. Three historically short groups of people, I'm just saying it like it is, they got together and they got the height requirement taken away. Is that not beautiful? That is the story that needs to be. If you want to talk about having the cultures and religions get along and everything like that, that's the story, man.
Yeah. I mean, who's to say collective? I mean, that's literally a form of collective bargaining.
Oh,
of
absolutely.
Just bringing
it literally was like we couldn't get. The guy on the video said every year we were denied because of our height, and then we found two other groups of short people.
Wait, did they play it at the event last night?
They played a video, and the guy, the short Jewish guy, and let me just tell you, by the way, the guy who did this, he was short. Man, this was a very, very short guy. I could tell that he needed some paperwork and another couple of police units to get him through. But that was a beautiful meeting of the Asian, Latino, and Jewish communities to get height, to get anti-Semitic, anti-Asian, and anti-Latino height requirements taken away. Fucking blonde, tall Swedish cops. They tried to Irish. Oh, I'm a 7 foot tall Irish. Fuck you, you Jewish, Asian, Latino. Anyways, last story that I want to throw you away. And this is a safety announcement. You know, here at the New York Times Sports, we are very, very obviously all about safety. The NBA and NFL have started to warn players about a rising crime. Now, a couple of months ago, or I guess about a month ago, there was a report of how Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce's houses is not a word.
Houses, yeah.
Houses.
What do you think? It's not like
House.
It's not like goose and geese. It's not like geese.
Well, it is homes.
Home. Well, you could say
the homes
houses.
of Patrick Mahomes.
Mahomes. Oh, yeah.
But what's funny about this, by the way, is that Patrick Mahomes is a spokesperson for an insurance company.
Yeah.
For Mahomes and Auto.
State Farm.
State Farm.
Yeah.
So State Farm, actually, maybe they're in charge of this crime wave. But basically, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, a couple other people had their homes robbed. And apparently, the NBA is urging his players to take additional precautions to secure their homes after a recent high-level series of burglaries, including Bobby Portis from the Bucks. The Timberwolves' guard Mike Conley Jr. Also got targeted. And here's the interesting part for this. Are you ready for this?
I'm getting ready. Go.
In a memo, the NBA sent to its team officials, a copy of which was obtained by the AP. The leak said that the FBI had connected some burglaries to transnational South American theft groups that are quote, reportedly well-organized, sophisticated rings that incorporate advanced techniques and technologies, including pre-surveillance drones and signal jamming devices.
Wow.
So this is not just like a break-in. This is Ocean's 11.
Oh, wow.
Now, let me just say, it'd be a real shame if Aaron Rodgers' house was burglarized. It'd be a real big shame that how much money do you think he's made throughout his career? Hundreds of millions of dollars. Yeah. And, you know, he's holistic, so I don't even think he believes in locks.
No.
It'd be a real shame if you were to fuck up that guy's house. Transnational South Americans. Why don't they ever fuck up the houses of people I like? I hate.
Yeah, I don't know.
I got nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes and Mike Conley Jr. and Travis Kelce. Why are they not going to Tom Brady's house? You know, why is Joel Embiid's house not getting fucked up? Go to the Boston Celtics. Go to TD Garden. Okay? When they're playing, go to them. I guarantee you hundreds of millions of dollars of stuff in TD Garden. You know? That's what I say. I'm all for them stealing as long as it's for some other group of people that isn't me. That isn't fair. A group that I like.
That's fair. I mean,
actually, they can take from the Jets. I say firmly they should take from the Jets.
You can be the change, Eitan.
You think I can? You know, back home, there was an advertisement from Union County College, and it said, UCC, you can change your life. And I always thought it was very funny that this college had misspelled you to do it. All right, those are all the stories that I got for this week. You got anything else you want to say?
L'chaim.
Do you have any less questions for the Jews? Usually we come in with a Jew question.
What about do you and your family go to a Chinese restaurant on Christmas or anything like that?
It's usually deli, to be honest.
Deli, yeah.
You know, it's interesting. The downtown, Essex on Bernstein. That is actually where the concept of Chinese Jewish stuff happens. Sorry, I got a text message, but that's where the Essex on Bernstein was the originators of like Chinese food on Christmas down there, because they were one of the few places that was open on Christmas. Now everyone goes there.
Well,
are you doing it? Thanksgiving? Do you do Chinese food on Thanksgiving?
No. I think we've done last year. We just split a chicken sandwich. It was great. It was good. Chicken salad, and then otherwise usually turkey or salmon.
Oh,
yeah. How about you guys?
You know, it's a Jewish Thanksgiving. Randomly does include things like gefilte fish and kugel. I'm not even joking. Usually my cousin...
Gefilte fish and what was the other thing?
Kugel. You ever have kugel?
Yeah.
Like potato cake souffle kind of thing?
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Jewish food?
Latkes.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Latkes better than hash browns, by the way. I call latkes hash browns with chutzpah.
What's your favorite like dip for a latke or a topping for a latke? Fully, the best way to eat a latke is a little sour cream and caviar on top of it. That's if you're going high end. Then I think go fully high end with it. That's if you want to throw down a couple shekels. You know,
get cheap caviar from Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. A dollop, and then if you're feeling really like a couple chives on top of it.
Trader Joe's has caviar.
Isn't that crazy? Trader and Whole Foods both have caviar.
Wow.
Because there's like a shitty little like roe and stuff like that.
Oh, right. Salmon roe. Right. Yeah.
Anyways, that has been New York Times Sports. Thank you so much for tuning in. We come in every Friday to let you guys know what's happening in the sports universe. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What'd you say last time? Barstool?
Barstool, yes.
Barstool.